Hello there, and welcome to 10 tips and tricks for advanced gameplay optimizations in the mid-game. These are all things that will help you out while you're reaching for your third and fourth stars in your museums when the game gives you bigger things to manage, bigger sums to handle, and I hope this will help you out. So, number one I want to talk about is only present what you can properly defend. Especially when the game gets deeper and the exhibits grow more costly, it really is an annoying thing to happen if they get stolen. So whatever you do with the newer things, make sure that you have everything set up. Security and the things that you need to keep it safe. Check back with your personnel. Maybe replace the costly ones into the center of your security perimeter and and present the less costly and easily retrievable ones on the outer perimeter of your museum. In some degree, your museum is like a fortress that's being attacked by thieves at times, and you have always stronger and weaker sides in your defense, one way or another. And long story short, pay attention to what's the most expensive exhibits and pay attention to the fact that they need to be well protected because it can be really annoying to regather them. Number two, there's something I want to say about perks. Don't shy away from using perks. I wouldn't use them on great exhibits. Most of the time, I wait at least for an epic one, but it is very easy to regather these. For one, obviously, while you're analyzing things, you get more perks back, but I figured that the easiest way to gather perks, if you have the money for it, is just get down to the bungle burrows and get yourself some expeditions going. This takes much less time than analyzing exhibits. Analyzing exhibits, on the other hand, yields you also some extra income on the side while you're analyzing them, but it also binds some of your people for a relatively long time. One way or another, perks are really an interesting way to buzz up things, and I used them way too sparingly when I started out with the game, and the longer I played, the more I realized that perks can just be sort of bought, and therefore it's a great way of optimizing your money earn or whatever is your on your mind. They are pretty nice and versatile, and therefore, if you are looking for something without expanding too hard, might be something to use. Number three, I want to talk about dream visits right there. So everybody out there of the folks here have a dream visit parameter. So I had no clue that these folks, I don't know if they always do it, but they have a chance to just dump 10,000 bucks into one of your donation containers and call it a day, basically. So what I'm trying to get down to with that is it really pays off to check on out what are dream visit parameters for your visitors and work on these, because they are a really impressive source of income. So keeping your guests happy is really a very powerful tool to grind up your income in so many ways. But yeah, dream visits. Some of them are harder than others, and some of them are really very easy, like this one here. Wake, wake. So when you know where to find the trigger for that condition, this one is really done easily. Anyways, moving on over to number four, I want to talk about molars, because in my experience, the longer I played this game, the molar thieves were the only ones which were repeatedly succeeding at stealing stuff from me. So I cooked up my nefarious mind for how could I defend myself better against these guys. So two things I found out that help. For one, that random wall with a camera on your exhibits. Just plot it down, you know? And this one is for the toilet thieves, but I'm not talking about these. These are relatively easy to counter. The other thing that I noticed is on the job market, whenever these guys announce themselves, I started hiring these extra folks for a couple of days until the attack is over, and then I fired them because, except for whining and rolling and screaming on the ground, they relatively do nothing harmful when you're firing them. Just really bad for your guilty conscience. Anyways, what I'm trying to say here is that the best way to deal with Molus for me was just to increase the pressure personnel wise, because these guys, they can just spawn everywhere. The third thing is try to find their burrows. If you find the burrow, you know where the thief will return to. But this can be a tricky thing, because once your museum is large enough that it encompasses several buildings, this one is a small museum still, it grows harder and harder to deal with this that way. So moving on to number 5, high pay advantages. So I have talked several times about the fact that we can easily go with a pay review meter here to get everybody on an equally, well, unimpressed opinion about their salary. If we increase the pay now, though, for everybody, for one, okay, it spends a lot of time, but it also makes your entire personnel more efficient. Happy personnel moves faster. As far as I've seen things, they also finish their tasks faster, but I'm not 100% sure about that. Would need some proofing about that, dear comment section. Do your magic. I did realize, though, that happy personnel moves faster. There's no doubt about that. That unhappy personnel slouches around slowly as they possibly can, so slowly that you eventually just pick them up and carry them where they need to be. And with happy people, it's vice versa. So the salaries of your folks, yes, staff wages, they do make a high portion of your expenditure, but it pays off so much, if you can afford it, to give them a lot of money, because, yeah, I mean, it really evens out. Having efficient staff means you need to hire less often people, because the people that you have are doing more stuff in the same time. Moving on to number 6. Here's 2 bugs that I found out that I personally found very annoying to spot, and they are very detrimental for your income. So possibly this will be no longer a thing when you're watching this, hopefully, but currently 2 things can occur. For one, tours, when you alter the environment around them, or the entrances, or the building, can spontaneously create very crappy routes. From one moment to another, the length of the tour becomes a nightmare, and the income of the tour also plummets to a net zero almost. So whenever you change the interior around tours, it really pays off to check on out if everything still works on out as intended. Often these routes break when I change something around these. Sometimes they don't, but I made it a habit if something has happened. The other thing is gift shops. Gift shops can bug out if you assign somebody to be not working at the gift shop checkout, but being assigned to the restocking duty at the same time. I've had it now, I've seen it several times that one assistant assigns himself to the shop and doesn't go to the counter. Guests pile up in there, never get served, get hungry, get unhappy, get stuck in there, because there's not any new staff being assigned by the game, because the game just checks, yeah, there's somebody in there, that's enough. So I consider this a bug, shouldn't happen. So currently, until this is fixed, these jobs are glued together, and it didn't become me well to do it otherwise. I do remember that I did recommend this in a different video of mine previously. I'm so sorry. Logically, it should work. Practically, it bugs out currently. Number 7, power of marketing. So that's another thing that I really overlooked for a long period of time. Marketing is a versatile tool. For one, the total museum guest arrival rate is a powerful thing. I mean, we only get 9 guests per month. 30% more would mean three more. Now you might think 3 more, that's not much. The fact is, people stay sometimes several months in your museum. Yeah, 2 Point Museum being weird like that. But long story short, everybody coming extra into your museum is a big income source. I mean, technically, if one of these three people that I attract extra has a 10,000 buck donation, it already paid off for the entire marketing campaign, and they just started on out. So marketing is a really cool tool. You can even assign several people at once there to increase the power even further, and also pay attention to the fact that you can market even specific exhibits or stuff like that. I haven't figured out yet to make nice things with that, but maybe you do. So use this tool. It's not only something being forced on you to to get done in the quest line. Number 8, fish farms. So this is something I discovered recently while playing this one beyond its storyline. These egg cups are insane income generators that you can use for any museum henceforth. All you need is one or two people that can take care of them, this egg cup, two of the same fish, and they keep reproducing, and you can't just sell the offspring. And the best part about it is, eventually, they even manage to get pristine variants of themselves. You don't even need to grind for higher qualities here. They just give you money and upgrade themselves along the way. This is something I was really shocked about myself, how long it took me to notice how great this income source is. As you can see here, the harder to get fishes, of course, also yield more money. So fish farms, seriously, you can increase your income wildly with these. Moving on to number 9, queues are an opportunity. So whenever you see something like this popping up somewhere, that's a clear sign that you need more of this somewhere in your museum. This is insofar interesting as every form of bus generator that binds the people a little bit longer in your museum also brings them to maybe donating something. So never forget to get the donation bucket right next to the item that you have put there, if it is something that can be donated at. And these interactive stands have another little caveat that I didn't notice before. You shouldn't put them right next to each other, several ones of the same variant. So I had two of these tuna fish thingies right next to them. What happened was one had a queue and the other one wasn't even looked at. So for some odd reason, the guests need some spatial distance between one exhibit of the interactive kind and another. But these things, they're excellent. They provoke children to dump 10,000 bucks into the donation bucket. Don't ask me why, don't ask me how, they do, but they do. And they also give you a little bit more of a chance to lengthen the stay of the people. So altogether, when you see a queue of something around there, ask yourself, do you want to have more of that? And something got stolen here while I was doing the video, but luckily we had an army of people around it, so nothing happened. So, moving on to number 10, donations are the lion-sized part of your income. Whatever you will do with gift shops and tours, due to the mechanics behind donations, due to how it all works, it's hard to trump that. What that means for you as a museum owner is that your other side incomes, you don't need to break too much of a sweat about them. Having them present and somewhat working is okay. The most important thing is that your donation buckets are there. There's a wild swarm of security available to prevent thieves from stealing your exhibits, and people are emptying those donations regularly. That's seriously the like 80% of the success. The rest of the things, I mean, you can style in this game extremely nicely. You can make such good looking museums. I'm not good at that, admittedly. I'm good at making money. But yeah, long story short, if you are like me, not too versed in making things look as awesome as possible, and you just want to have a nice functional museum, focus on the donations. That's really where most money comes from, and several people who are already ahead of me in progress of this game have approved that this is exactly the thing, donations. So it just doesn't only come from me, it comes from people who have beaten the game already. So, that's 10 things I hope that helped you to optimize your museums a little bit more. Let me know what you thought. Leave me a like, leave me a subscribe, and check out in the description box down below if you want to support this channel, if my work is worth a dime to you. It would really mean a lot to me. There's a channel membership system, which is the easiest way. There's a couple of other links downstairs below. Whatever you do or don't, I want to say thanks to all of the supporters of the channel, and thanks for watching this video right here, right now. I really appreciate taking your time through my adverts and everything. I hope you have a great day, and see you next time.